What comes to mind when you think about Christmas? Cozy festivities with your loved ones? Jolly old Saint Nick busting into your house and leaving gifts? General Krampus-related shenanigans? Or maybe ghosts? At least Charles Dickens agrees with me here. Hi everyone and welcome to Noodle Toots. My name is Toby and today we're getting festive. Today I'll be making a cozy new holiday outfit for Bod, my ghost boy. For those of you who don't know, Bod was my last finished project before I started this whole YouTube thing with my contortionist. I made him from a make-it-own Taeyang base from the Pullip company. He's a comfy ghost boy who's always ready for a nap, eternal or otherwise. But I think it's about time he got a new outfit, not only to be festive, but perhaps to scare some sense into some miserable old misers. I want him to exude holiday spirit, but without sacrificing the total comfort from his normal attire. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm starting off with the cape, which I'm not sure is entirely accurate. Is it more of a cape, a coat, a shawl, or a poncho? For simplicity's sake, I'll just keep calling it a cape. As you can probably tell, I'm making it out of plush red velvet. This pattern isn't anything too complicated. Excluding the trim, this garment only consists of 4 large rectangular pattern pieces. Once everything was sewn together, I added the trim. I hand sewed it because faux fur on velvet is slippery AF, even if they're thoroughly pinned. I hemmed the front of the cape off camera too. With the cape put together, I added a wire under the collar to help it maintain a certain shape while on the doll. With much difficulty, I also added a hook and eye closure. And here we have a basic cape. However, it's a little too plain for my liking, so let's add some extra detail. I used glass beads, small jump rings, and a length of chain to create some decorative closures. And now I think I can call the cape done. Let's move on. Gloves on dolls are either always painted on, or they're made into bizarre little mittens. Thankfully, the latter is actually appropriate here. However, I wanted to go a little extra again. Extra comfy and old school, if not a little inconvenient. Instead of making mittens for Bod, I'll make him a fur muff. A muff is that small furry object you see women carrying during cold weather and period movies. They're essentially a hand warmer, traditionally made with fur. While typically associated with women's fashion, they were popular with men too. To make it, I just took 2 rectangles of fabric, the same velvet as the cape, and a shorter, more flexible faux fur than the cape's trim. Sew 3 sides together, leaving one open end to turn it right side out. I also stuffed it with some yarn fluff to give it a little more bulk.
Now that Bod's hands are warm and stylish, at least by 18th century standards, we can give him his decidedly more modern hat. Pullip dolls have gigantic heads, especially compared to fashion dolls like Monster High, or larger but more realistically proportioned ball-jointed dolls. So of course this hat was going to be pretty big too. Off camera, I loosely measured the circumference of Bod's head, taking care not to squash his hair. From there, I created a comically large cone shape to create the basic hat pattern. As is, it's a funny little gnome hat, but we want that Santa energy, so we need the fur trim. I'm using the same faux fur from the cape for the trim and the pom-pom at the end. I hand sewed the trim to the bottom before folding the piece right sides together and sewing up to the tip. For the pom-pom, I stitched more of the same faux fur around a styrofoam ball to make it nice and big. Once I lashed that abomination together, I sewed it to the end of the hat. I also added some small jingle bells off camera. With the outerwear complete, now we can focus on his main attire. I love a good turtleneck sweater, so Bod needs one too. I found this adorable striped knit fabric at my local Walmart, and I just knew that one day I could put it to good use. This sweater won't be anything too complex since it'll mostly be covered by the cape. I used a free pattern from Chellywood to make this. I've linked it below if y'all want to use it too. And here's the finished turtleneck. Extra warm and toasty. It's very important, even if you're a ghost. However, even if you're a ghost, it's unwise to be outdoors without pants, especially in winter. Let's give Bod his. To be honest, I had a pair of slacks that fit Bod already made. These were originally intended for an ill-fated Chainsaw Man project that never came to fruition. So while Denji lost his pants, Bod thankfully found them. I made these slacks by adapting a pattern from the BTS doll line, adding a waistband and belt loops because they were quite plain out of the box. I'm just swapping the tan belt out for a black one, adding a buckle, and adding a decorative chain. I added a jingle bell too off cam. Now we just need some shoes. If we look back to my concept art, I didn't draw Bod with any shoes. That's because I had no idea what to do about them. I got the idea for this project pretty late in the game, and I wasn't sure if any shoes I ordered would arrive on time for this video to go up before Christmas. And my shoemaking experience is minimal. To make a long story very short, I just took some BTS shoes and made leg warmers to cover them up since they don't match the overall aesthetic. I was running short on time to get these done, take pictures, and edit, so I did everything off camera. Sorry. Here are the shoes with the leg warmers. This wasn't how I originally saw this part of the project going, but I actually really like the end product. I also think that the leg warmers suit Bod a bit better than just a pair of boots. Now let's put everything together and look at the complete outfit. And here's Bod, all bundled up and ready for holiday festivities. I went into this thinking it would be a nice simple project to balance out a larger project I'm working on. But even without a full customization, that clearly wasn't the case here. Good job, Toby. All things considered though, I love how everything turned out. It's been fun making something cozy and festive, and needing to draft and use my own patterns added a layer of challenge to this project. So, without the sarcasm this time, good job, Toby. But for those of you who want more repaints and customizations, don't worry. There will be one of those coming in January, and more throughout the year. Scout's honor. Until then, I'm calling it good this year so I can spend the holidays with my loved ones without a deadline looming over my head.
What are your favorite holiday traditions? Mine are eating spaghetti with my family on Christmas Eve and watching Christmas movies. I also like to play through at least the first episode of Hatoful Boyfriend Holiday Star every year. All while avoiding the outside because I'm a wimp and I don't do cold. Want to see what I have in store for 2024? Check me out on Instagram. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe before you go too. Jingled miserably. Thanks again for watching, my dudes, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye! Twilight, I love you, but